Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
I can't
How are
really
you?
see a lot, but I see a lot of faces.
Sure.
That's good.
It's right up here. Thank you so much for joining and finishing up our series. Really excited to talk to you about your research and areas of expertise. So let's kick it off. But please introduce yourself and your current specialties and interests.
Yes, of course. So my name is Georgia. I am professor at Caltech. It's in Pasadena. I know that a lot of you think Pasadena is probably boring, but it's actually kind of a quirky little town, so you should come out and visit. So I joined Caltech a year and a half ago. Before that, I was a researcher at Meta or Facebook and their AI research team. Before that, I got my PhD at UC Berkeley. And before that, I grew up in the most wonderful country, which is Greece. Also, please go visit. We need you. We need your money.
Love to.
So here I am. I study AI, and within AI is very big. It's a term that's coined in very many ways, and often it's misrepresented. But I do focus on a particular branch of AI that's called computer vision, which is analyzing or trying to understand and come up with ways in which we can understand images. Basically, think about it that way. All of you are brilliant. You have this brain of yours that you didn't choose. You came with it. Lucky you. And so what the brain enables you to do is to you accept light from your environment, and you have these eyes, and you have the brain that interprets the light, and you can navigate the world, and you can make decisions. You came here because you have a good vision system, and you'll be able to follow the movie and understand it again because you are smart and it can understand anything that you see. In the computing world, we don't have the human brain, and we haven't decoded it yet. So what I try to do is try to find that way that will enable our systems and computers to understand images the same way that the human brain does. And that is a facet of AI, because if we achieve that, then we'll have a lot of little robots going around and seeing things and helping us do things, and can even explore and advance scientific discovery in many ways.
And we talked about this a little bit in our preliminary conversations. Can you explain for the audience why vision is so difficult, why that sense is so difficult for like robots and machines to kind of learn?
Yes, it's very hard. The reason why it's very hard, and I'm trying to make it to simplify it. So imagine you're taking images with your phone every day. What those images are and how they're represented in a computer is an array of numbers from 0 to 255. It's the RGB colors. So you have a 2D grid with these numbers that are in a sequence, and that's all your computer sees. Everything else about there being objects, people, activities, whatever else there is in the image is something that only your brain understands. The images do not contain that information. So how to go from an array of numbers into concepts, objects, intentions, emotions, and behaviors is exactly that gap that your brain does seamlessly, but we cannot do right now, and this is what I'm working on. So data are numbers, but the concepts are semantically a lot more complex, and that is what we're trying to bridge.
I feel like it's a very complicated thing to do.
It is really complicated. Every day I wake up, I was like, oh, this is hard.
And you recently received a Google Faculty Scholar Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Google, I guess.
For a foundation model for 3D perception. Can you tell us more about this research endeavor?
Yes. So as if what I told you right now is not hard enough, I try to make my life harder. And I said, well, what I actually want to study is not just to understand the presence of objects or people or their emotions and images, but I like to understand the 3D world through 2D images. So I now need to go from 2D arrays of numbers to 3D shapes and geometry and attributes, because this is our world. Our world is 3D. Actually, our world is 4D because we also are moving within the 3D world, so there is dynamics. And so I want to now be able to bridge that gap, which is even harder. And that's also when I wake up and say, oh, why did I choose this? But it is a very fulfilling direction because it fuses not only learning and AI, but also geometry and beautiful math, and it all comes in together, which is why I'm a professor of mathematics as well in the mathematical department. So it all has to come in together. Something that should be very, very clear is that all the development in AI is not just a black box and we don't know what we're doing. It's actually mathematical computations that are very, very carefully designed by people that have a good grasp of math we have to learn in order to actually get there. So it has to all come together.
Blows my mind. All of our guests. So in the film that the audience is about to watch, called Ex Machina, who's seen it before? A lot of folks. Amazing. No spoilers, of course. Just a little overview. A young programmer is selected to participate in a groundbreaking experiment, and then in synthetic intelligence by evaluating human qualities of a highly advanced humanoid AI. And it's a bit undiscernible the boundaries between robots and humans in this film. Through your time in this field, how have the advancements in vision in particular progressed? And are we at any point where robots can see the same as humans, or is that just very far off?
Yes and no, we're far, but also close. So some aspects of AI we have solved, and I'm saying this, and I'm getting chills, because if you asked me 4 years ago, and if you asked any person working in AI 4 years ago, if we would be where we are today, we would say absolutely not, you're crazy, you're insane, but here we are. So all of these advances have caught a lot of us by surprise, and if anyone out there is saying, oh, but I predicted it, like, they're wrong. So we are close. We're close in some aspects of AI. For example, one aspect of AI that you might have seen that we're actually right now living, I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Her.
Yes.
Okay, so this is like, that's happening right now. There is people that have relationships with bots. There's this company called Character AI, which gives you these characters that have personalities, and people have relationships with them daily. They're texts with them, and every time there's a power outage in the machines that they're having in New York, like, the internet goes crazy, and the Reddit, like the subreddit, is like, "What's happening? I need my girlfriend." So that part, it's there, and I don't remember who the director of Her was, but congrats to him. He predicted the future.
Spike Jones, yeah.
Okay, great.
Everyone's thinking our film crowd.
Yes, this is not the crowd to make mistakes. And then there's other aspects that we're very far off. For example, there's that robot in Interstellar. Have you guys seen Interstellar? It's my favorite robot. It doesn't look like a humanoid, so it looks different, but it's designed to do so many things. And what's the name of that robot again? Okay.
TARS.
Jesus.
Film crowd.
Yes. So, and of course, that robot can also see and make decisions, complex decisions about new environments. It was, I don't know, they landed in some weird planet, and it had to go save the actress. Or actor, Jesus. I don't remember exactly. But that's a lot of complex decision making, so we're very far from that. So maybe in a nutshell, the mundane aspects of everyday life, we're very close in having an AI do them.
Wow.
And that includes relationships, unfortunately. Some of them. But the more complicated aspects of life, we're very far off. I don't think that in my lifetime, I would say, we would see, for example, a robot performing an open heart surgery. That's not going to happen. We don't have a lot of data for that. There is very complex decision-making that needs to happen, and the cases are very unique per patient, which is exactly where AI is bad at.
And one more question before we pass it to the audience, if anyone's got any questions for our amazing guest. What is your kind of like, well, you touched a little bit on this. What is your outlook on the future of human and machine relationships as the technology progresses? And are there any particular fascinating advancements being made in the space today that you think will affect our day-to-day?
Yeah, I am very excited. I think that we have, so I'm very excited in a very sort of mundane way, naive way, in a very more profound way. So the naive way is I'm very excited because I think we are in a place where a lot of boring aspects of our lives can be done with AI. I'm a faculty. A lot of the things I need to do is like fill some spreadsheets. My students need to get paid left and right. I need to maintain. That can all be happen with AI, so I don't need to worry about that. Email handling, all these boring things that no one ever talks about, but they take up so much time. So I'm excited for machines to take over that. And I'm also excited because, and this might be less covered in media, but there is a lot of advances of AI in aspects that we've never imagined before, especially regarding human life, medicine, and other aspects of science, where we'll see data-driven research. And I'm grounding this because AI is such a vague term, but this is understanding data and observations from aspects of sciences in medicine, in physics, and other disciplines that could accelerate what we are considering today is not possible. I'm talking about new drugs, new cures, and all these things that could make our lives last longer. I hope you want that, but also make us be healthier and live a happier life.
Any questions from our audience? Yes, right there.
Yes, of course. And every coin has two sides. It's human to human, also human to self. Like how do you perceive your own self? These are all aspects of society that we'll need to figure out how to navigate. I perceive AI very similar to other revolutions that have happened in the past, like the Industrial Revolution, where we had to figure out as a society how to navigate a new landscape of today in reality. This is a little bit more intricate because it's faster. Things change a lot faster, and we have less of a reaction time. So I guess I don't have an answer. I think that's something that we all need to spend more time reflecting. Maybe by having AI take away mundane aspects of our to-dos, we have more time to reflect upon ourselves.
Right there.
Yeah, so the reason why CAPTCHA is becoming very complex at this point, I fail at them very often, is because, first of all, we have more bots on the internet. That's one. Again, a reflection of a lot of AI. But also, yes, these tests are becoming better and better. You can actually, I think that we, at Caltech, we have challenges for students to do in a 1 week span to beat a CAPTCHA algorithm. So very easy. This goes back, this actually relates to the same topic as how can CAPTCHAs exist because we want to protect human to internet or human to machine communication to make sure that it's actually genuine and you're getting a genuine interaction with your machine, as funny as that sounds, or any other human that is behind the machine. So it goes both ways. First of all, I want to say that I do want to have self-driving cars because I think they drive better than most California drivers. Hot take. So there is actually two aspects of that question. One is from the the tech point of view, like when are we going to have the technology to actually put out safe cars? And safety is an aspect that I want to say that right now in AI we're not studying enough. The reason is very simple. It's called capitalism. Wow. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Safe systems means that you have to work harder. You have to catch corner cases before you release a model. And that goes against business models, unfortunately. So we don't have safe self-driving cars right now because simply there are corner cases that come up during driving or any other human activity for which if your model doesn't have enough data, your model is not going to be able to understand and perceive well. Again, just to ground the conversation, what we see in AI work and that what captivates you and me and my students and everyone are things for which a model was trained on a lot of data from that exact distribution. Once you go a little bit outside of that realm of data and distribution, the models fail. And unfortunately, during driving, you get all these corner cases. You get them maybe one every 100 hours that you drive, but that is still a lot if that means that a human life can actually be taken away. So we're not there yet. But my other point point that I want to make is that even if we get there, I think we have to do a lot of regulatory and policies that I think might also hinder the deployment of self-driving cars. So there's policy and whatever the regulators are deciding, and they're not in agreement, and there is a technology, and maybe they'll have to go sort of in circle. But it's going to be a few years. But I would say if there's one technology in this robotic space that we'll see, it's going to be self-driving cars. So 10 years, short.
Yeah, we'll check in.
Yeah, that's a great question. And you'll actually find people divided in that. Unfortunately, I get to see what these models are made of, and I know I understand them exactly, I get to train them, and I don't perceive them anything else than mathematical models. So no, I don't think that they're sentient or have any self-awareness. I think that they're just very eloquent. And there's this phrase that I use now very often where fluency doesn't mean intelligence. It's true for every politician. It's also true for all of AI. Just because you have these bots that can put words together in a way that's meaningful and useful is impressive, but there is actually nothing behind that. It's just a machine that puts words together very well. Now, what is discouraging and maybe a little bit disappointing, and there's people for which this fluency is enough to establish a relationship, and I think everything else happens in their minds and their brains. They are developing the storyline that's them and not that machine that makes them frame it into a relationship. So that goes back to having to do a little bit of self-reflection in psychology, and now I'm starting to sound kind of harsh, so I'm going to stop it there. But I think that it's a line that we'll need to figure out how to navigate, where we understand what is actually an emotional connection. And if you perceive an emotional connection with a mathematical model, then it's a fantastic topic. And if someone is studying psychology, I think that it should be a topic there. But it's a very intricate function, and I do think it relates to something in our own brain that makes us perceive that.
That's a great lead-in to this movie. So give it up for Dr. Georgia.
Thank you.